Welcome back to Birching the West. We're doing a special edition this time. We're doing a training, especially for our activists or members in Utah, talking about how to use the legislative website and be a citizen lobbyist of such in the legislature. And certainly, I would encourage any of you who are in other states to take a look into that too. Take a look into your state's website and how you can navigate things. My name is Eldon Stahl. I'm the host today. We're talking, Birching the West is all about being an activist for educating others for freedom through the John Birch Society. So we have our special guest today is Sharon Anderson. Sharon is one of our leaders in Utah, and she's got some experience at this. So I want to welcome Sharon to the show, and hopefully we can have this be available for our members and other activists. They can see how to best do this. That you've been able to, I guess, do the legwork to find out how. So welcome, Sharon. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm
There we
glad
go.
to be here.
That's better.
Took a second to unmute here. So what I want to do today is kind of give people a tour a tour of the state website. It's le.utah.gov.
Okay.
And if people put that in, then they can just find the website. I'm going to share my screen here.
Oh, you're sharing your screen. Okay.
Yeah, I'll share mine. Do you want? Okay. Except I'm not sure how to. Okay.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the website le.utah.gov. And that's all you do. You don't need the www, just put that in and it takes you to this website. So here we are. I need to figure out how to minimize that. Okay, so I can see the whole thing. All right, can you still hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So this is the website for all things legislative in the state of Utah. And before we get into how to track a particular bill or follow it through the process, I wanted to give an overview of the website itself. And some of this will be old hat or very familiar to some of the people who will be viewing this video, but others might be new to this website. So I'd like to take just a couple of minutes to go through it and show people what they can learn and see on this site. And we'll go pretty fast, but people can rewind the video, I guess. So across the top here, we have the legislators. And if you hover over that word, you can see that you've got all legislators back to 1896 by session. I'm kind of impressed with this website. I don't know if every state has a website that's this comprehensive, but I think we're very fortunate that we have these tools available. We have the House, tells about the House, the leadership, the roster, seating chart, etc. They used to have the roster on a form where you could see all the contact information on a spreadsheet. But now, in order to get if you wanted to find out the emails for all of the Republican members of the House, you'd have to go through one by one. But as I was looking at this today, it occurred to me, I know somebody that may have already compiled such a list. So I'll be looking into that because that's quite laborious to do. Okay, and then we've got the Senate over here. All right, so we've got bills, and here we can view bills. We're going to come back to this 2021 bills. You can do a keyword search. This next tab at the top is the Utah Code, where we take all the legislative things that have been passed and we put them into the code. And when you go into the code and
So
start,
that's like state law, huh?
yes, that's the state go-to law. But you can go and you can, there's a way to, you know, you by section number and stuff. We won't go into all that today, but that is where you can find the code. And we have committees, we have standing and subcommittees, and just see what's going on there. Audits, the budget, and research and legal. Down at the bottom,
So a
yes,
standing committee is one that's just always there,
correct.
right? Just
Yeah,
rather than like a temporary or maybe in the summer.
yes, yes. During the interim, yeah. Here's the interim committee histories. Okay, so that's the top, the links at the top of the page. If we go down here to the bottom right, my legislators. Now you might, I'm sure that many people watching this already know who your legislators are, but I'm sure that we all know people who don't know who their legislators are. So you could
Yes.
always tell people they can find their legislator, who they are, by going to le.utah.gov, and in the bottom right-hand side of the home screen, if they click on legislators, they can enter their home address. I'm waiting for this to come up. Oh, so you can enter your home address over here and your zip code. And I'll just show you how, well, yeah, I will. I'll show you how this works. And there they are.
There they are. That was easy.
Yes. And look at this. This is also cool.
Oh,
If you click on
map.
view the map and just put it in any zip code. I'll put this one in, fine. I guess it still wants the street address. It zooms in
Oh my goodness.
to your map. And you can zoom out.
Zoom out, yeah.
So that's kind of cool. You can see that. So you can also find a district. You can look up a district. Let's see if you wanted to know the boundaries of Senate District 2. Then it shows you.
There you go. It's all highlighted and everything.
Yes, yes.
That was really
All right.
nice.
Okay, so let's go back here. Close this down. This. And here's the bill I was checking out. So we'll just go back to the state website. Okay, so we talked about my legislators. We have the calendar. This is the legislative calendar right now. During the summer, it would have an interim calendar and that kind of thing. But you can go backwards and forwards here by week and see what's going on. So today happens to be Tuesday the 16th. And those shows the committee meetings and that kind of thing. So also it's interesting, these, because it's past 8 o'clock, this little right-facing arrow shows that you can listen or watch that committee meeting that has taken place. It's already available. And the ones that are not taking place yet, when they start, the background will turn green, so you'll know it's underway.
Oh, nice.
And then you can, and there will be a little arrow, I think, there where you can join the meeting. Okay, so that's the calendar. Close that. And over here are the resources. Now, we won't spend a lot of time on this, but what I do want to show you, and we will return to this a little bit later as we track a bill through the process. This resource page has capital information and new bills, and we're going to be coming back to this weekly schedule, which will show that general calendar had so much on it when we went to the calendar that all of this information was not visible and available on that general calendar. So if you want to know specifically by the committee meetings for the House or the Senate, we'll come back to this and we'll explore that a little bit later. So we're going to use a bill, we're going to track a bill through the process to see how this works. And so we're going to start here with bills. And we're going to do, we're particularly concerned about the 2021 bills. So we click on this. And they have listed them numerically. So first you have the House bills and concurrent resolutions, joint resolutions, and then the Senate bills with their resolutions. So if you know a bill number, this is the fastest way to access it. You just go. Today we're going to be doing Senate Bill 121. So we can go here and just scroll down to 121.
So you want to go to SB probably.
Yep, sorry. Yes. Yes. Few bills. SB 121.
There we go.
And we're going to be talking about the national popular vote. So if we click on this bill in this list, here is the bill page. And this has so much information on it that's so valuable. So right now we're seeing the bill text, and we can read through this bill. And this one happens to be 205 lines. And I found a bill in this session that is so long. What one was that? That was the election amendments is 1,711 lines long. So tell me that
That's long.
all these legislators are going to be able to read that. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
this
just for our viewers, what is the national popular vote? What's this bill about?
Okay, the national popular vote, and it's a compact. It's the abbreviation for national popular vote is just NPV. You might see it as NPVIC. So it's an interstate compact, and the title of this bill does not have that word interstate. But the national popular vote is a move to make presidential elections, the outcome of presidential elections based on the popular vote, rather than using the electoral college as the founders set up for us. And maybe, Eldon, we can put in the notes for this video the link to the JBS website.
To the alert on this bill?
To the alert for this
Sure.
bill.
Yeah, we
And
can do
also, there's also a page on action, general action page, where we could have a separate video on exploring JBS on this.
Right. But this would be a bill that we would encourage people to oppose, I suppose.
Well, absolutely, because it would mean that, okay, so the Constitution gave us the Electoral College, which gives electoral votes based on representation in Congress. So every state has at least 3 votes because they each have 2 senators and a representative. So every state has 3 votes. But we know that California and Florida and New York and Illinois have the majority of the votes. So what this bill does, if they were to go by popular vote, 5 or 6 states could determine the outcome of the election without even considering the smaller states. So why any state who is the size of Utah, or the ones with fewer electoral votes, would buy into this agenda is stunning to me. So the compact part is an agreement between states that says that you will give your electoral votes to the candidate who has the greatest number of popular votes, the most number. So,
so what you're saying is, let's say, hypothetically, of course, that the state of California, their popular vote happens to be for the Democratic candidate, right?
right,
Utah votes, let's say, 70% for the Republican candidate. If they join this, they would just say, it doesn't matter how the people voted in Utah. We have to give all, I guess it'd be 6 electoral votes to the Democratic candidate.
right. So what it is, instead, it's an end run around the Constitution, because they're not changing the Electoral College setup with an amendment to the Constitution. What they're doing is they're getting, once they have enough states, that those states who sign on to this compact have more than 100 or 270 electoral votes, they've effectively negated the constitutional provisions for the Electoral College.
Yeah, they would. Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's kind of hijacking the Constitution.
Well, yeah, let's dig into this and see, what can we find out about this bill? How can we work on opposing it? What would an activist want to find out on this?
Okay, so here's the bill text, and we can do a printer-friendly version. Over here, we find out who the sponsor of the bill is. And I will point out that the state website has a tracking capability. I'm going to click on that. And you can sign up, enter your email and password, and you can target bills that you want to track. And every time the status of that bill changes, you can get an email. Right now, I'm quite frustrated with this because I needed to reset my password, and I've tried multiple times on multiple days to reset it, and I've not been able to do that. So I even entered my alternate email, and they said, that one's already taken, you can't use it. So right now, I'm not able to use the tracking capabilities, but if you've not ever signed up for it, I recommend it highly. And I also recommend, if you have signed up, remember your password, because you might not be able to change it. Okay, so that's the tracking page. And there's fiscal notes and last action, similar bills. Okay, so the hearings and debates, it's not been before a committee yet, but once it has, you can go back and you can, for other bills that are farther along in the legislative process, you can click on that and you can tune in and re-listen to the hearings and debates. So right now we're going to go on the status. And this is one of the key for all bills. It's one of my favorite ways to view a bill. So over here in the date column, you can see every step of the process that this bill has gone through, or to be more grammatically correct, through which this bill has gone. But we're not going to mince words on that. But anyway, so on the 21st of January, it was numbered and then distributed and sent to fiscal input. The Senate received the bill from research. They had the first Senate reading. In other words, they introduced the bill. and then the fiscal notes were available. Then the Senate received the fiscal note, and the Senate sent this bill to a standing committee. And the bill that received this, or the committee that received this bill, is the Senate Government Operations and Public Subdivisions Committee. So what we want to do is we want to find out when this bill is going to be heard in this committee, because we don't want it to pass through the committee. If we could stop it in committee, it would save a lot of effort down the road. We wouldn't have to try and stop it on the Senate floor. If it passed there, you know, it will go to the House committee, and then it will go to the House. So ideally, we can stop this bill in committee. So we want to find out about the Senate Government Operations Committee. So if we go here and click on committees, this is at the top of the page, and it is a standing committee. And so here are all the standing committees for the year 2021. We're going to scroll down to the Senate Government Operations Committee. And if we click on this, this is the committee page. This is a great page. For each committee has their own page. So here we see the meetings that they have had already over here on this side, and we see that they're going to have one today at 4 p.m. You can scroll down here. Here are the committees, excuse me, the bills that have been assigned to this committee. And sure enough, here's SB 121. So we'd probably be asking ourselves, well, when are they going to hear this? And they're having a committee meeting today. So let's check, excuse me, we're going to check the agenda for today's meeting. And the agendas, by the way, have to be posted at least 24 hours before the meeting takes place. So we can see that by clicking on this agenda, we can see the meeting or the agenda for today's meeting. So they're going to meet at 4 p.m. and we don't see SB 121 here. So they're not going to be discussing that today. So we'll go back here. And more information on the committee that's on this page. Over on the right-hand side, we have the information on who the members of this committee are. So we can click on any one of these members. I'm going to open that in a new tab. And we can see that here's the data on this senator, and he's the chair of this committee. And here's his contact number, and here's his address. So that's very valuable information that you can find out who those committee members are. Close this down. So sometimes when we're encouraging people to participate, we might say, here are the committee members on this committee. In fact, on a previous bill, I saw the committee members, and my son lives in one of, I mean, his representative was one of the committee members. So I called him and said, hey, you want to contact your representative, which he did. And, you know, it's kind of interesting if you know where these committee members live, and you might know somebody in that city. We can all contact these committee members, but very often they pay less attention to your input, and if you're not their constituent. So, but when they're on a committee, they're probably more open than they are to paying attention when it's just a general vote by the Senate. Then they're really more tuned into their constituents. Okay, so now we want to find out when this committee meets next, because we want to be watching what where our Senate Bill 121 will appear. So we're going to go back to the home page here. Click on the icon here. And again, the resources. We already had a little sneak preview of resources. Oh, it's posting up here. We're going to go to the weekly schedule. And we're on week 5. And we're talking about Senate. So here is the Senate schedule for this week 5 of the legislative session. And we did note that the Senate Government Operations and Political Subdivisions Committee is meeting at 4 o'clock. We looked at their agenda. So when are they going to meet again? So we can just look across here. We can look across here, and here they are, Thursday, February 18th. The Government Operations and Political Subdivisions Committee will be meeting at 8 a.m.
That's very handy.
So, yes. So what we want to do is check the agenda on Wednesday to see if the bill that we want to know about is going to be addressed in that committee. And in the meantime, we can contact people we know or people who are concerned, and we can let them know that there's a good possibility that this bill is going to be heard at 8 a.m. on Thursday, and encourage them to contact the committee members. When it comes, like tomorrow, when we find out whether or not it's going to be on the committee agenda, we can give another alert. We can say, yes, it's going to be there. If you haven't already contacted your senator or the committee members, please do so right now. And if it's not going to be there, we're going to say it's not up yet. So if you haven't contacted them, you have a little more time. Okay, does that make sense? So if we go back, we'll look at week 6 here. And let's see when else they're going to. Here they are on Monday at 8 a.m. So that would be the next possible. Here they are on Thursday at. It looks like they're usually their meetings are at the beginning of the week and on Thursday, and they alternate from morning to afternoon. That teaches you a little bit more about the workings of the committee. Okay, so we looked at the committee. Let's go back here and look at the calendar. Close that. Close this. I want to look at this calendar again. Oh, here we go. So you'll notice I don't know how to make this full screen. Just have to scroll through it. So here we've got the meetings. And we'll notice here that they've got the Senate chamber and the House chamber for this afternoon. And as we get, and tomorrow.
So that's meaning the full House or the full Senate?
Right, correct. And we've got them also scheduled for more time. The closer we get to the end of the session, the longer their meetings will take. So they've got about 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon here. And here, you don't see a lot of the committee meetings, but this is already on. They may not put the committee meetings on this general calendar because it could be, I'm speculating, it could be that some of these committees get through their list of bills that they need to address. So they may not have their meetings scheduled yet. So anyway, that gives you that information. And if you go, I'm looking for this afternoon. Okay, so we're going to click on that. And that takes us back to the committee. Okay, any questions so far? Anything you'd like to clarify, Eldon, or Paul, do you have a question? Did I lose you?
I think we lost Paul. But,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Well, that's pretty good, I think. What if somebody says, "Hey, I want to testify on this"? How does that work?
Okay, this, let's see. Let's go to we're here at the committee. When the committee goes into session, you can join the meeting. Right now, for this committee, it says electronic participation available. So if you click on this question mark, it says participate in a virtual meeting and live audio. So you can participate by observing or by actually speaking. So this tells how to participate and to provide public comment. So I'm going to click on this public comment here. I'm going to open the link in a new tab and go here. And here is some instructions. There are some instructions for how to participate. And it kind of walks you through the process. And participate versus the live audios, this is just observing, and this is actually participating. So once the meeting is imminent, I believe there's a way you can sign up before the meeting starts if you do it within the hour before. But if you don't get signed up ahead of time, once the meeting starts, you can provide public comment. And this gives information on what that is like and how to do that. See, on each committee web page, there are two options for watching or listening to a legislative meeting: participate and stream or audio. So for the participation, we're going to go over here to page 2, and we get more specific guidelines for providing public comment. And it shows here there will be a public comment option that you can click on, and then you participate. Let's see, participate in virtual meeting. So you can click on that. And once you've clicked on that, then they will give you opportunity to put your name and your email, and then you're in their system. So when you get to that point in the agenda that you want to make your comment, you can raise your electronic hand, and then the chair will call on you, and you will need to go to your Zoom page and activate your video. They want to see your video while you're making your comment, and they can unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. I'm not sure how that works. Can't remember. I think they unmuted me. So
Do they accept written testimony?
they do not.
Okay. Do they accept handouts? Any files?
If you're there Yes, you can hand out. You have been able to in the past, and I would imagine you can still do that even with COVID. When they get to the ask for public comment, they will take the people who are there in the room before they take people who are online.
Okay, so the Senate, does the House just have virtual meetings at this point and the Senate does both, or how does that work?
I believe that for both Senate and House, a limited number of people are allowed in the room, but it's social distancing, so there aren't very many people in the room. So if people actually want to be there in person, I'd recommend getting there plenty early. But I've done both, and I personally really like the electronic capabilities. I mean, you didn't have to drive up to the Capitol, find parking, find the room, and it works very well, I think. I'm quite pleased with that option. One other thing that I would like to do to show a little bit more about the status of a bill, because the 121 stopped when it was assigned to committee. So I would like to go to another bill that went completely through the legislative process and show how that status tells us so much about a bill and about the legislators. So I'm back here at the home page here. I'm going to go to bills, and I'm going to go to past bills, and I'm going to choose the 2019 general session. And I'm going to look at SJR 9. Can you believe all these bills? SJR 9. Here we go, very end. This was a joint resolution calling for a convention to amend the United States Constitution. I'm going to open this bill, which unfortunately did pass. It's one of those con bills that we tried desperately to pass, or to prevent from passing, but it passed. So again, we've got the text and the hearings and the debate, but we're going to click on this status because it's very instructive on how the process works. So we kind of tracked the current SB 121 through this process to where it was assigned to the same committee. But this one went on further. So it went to in committee on the 12th of February. It passed out of committee, and here is the vote, the record of the vote, the very far right hand column. And we learn that 5 voted for, 2 voted against, and 0 voted, or there were no people missing, absent. 0 were absent. But if we click on this, we can see exactly who voted and how they voted. So we've got these people favored it and these people opposed it. It's been very interesting on these con bills that the Democrats as a bloc vote against these constitutional amendment bills. So we still want to stay friends with the Democrats. You know, we might not agree with their political views on many things, but that's one where we do agree. And it's nice to be able to have a conversation and to know that on some things we're on the same page. So we're going to go back here. So that's who voted and how they voted. Okay, from so a Senate bill goes first to the Senate and then to a Senate committee. If it passes the committee and it passes off the floor of the Senate, And we've got the different dates here. It was circled and that stopped it from moving up on the calendar, and then they uncircled it. And then they had a vote in the Senate. That was on uncircling it. That was just a voice vote. Then on the third reading, this is how the senators voted. And it was pretty close, actually. We'll look at this. If 2 of these 16 senators had changed their vote, the vote would have been tied. Just 2 senators of these. And this is valuable information because we'd like to see a rescission resolution to rescind SJR 9 from 2019 and HJR 7 from 2015. So it's kind of instructive to know who voted for and against, because if we get into the point of trying to find a sponsor for a rescission resolution, or we're looking for support, we could go to these people and say, we noticed that you opposed SJR 9 and we hope you still are of the same opinion, or how do you feel about it now? And we want to do this. Would you be willing to support that, a rescission resolution and that kind of thing? So that's pretty valuable information. So
Yeah,
those,
definitely.
yep. And then, so because it passed out of the Senate, voted yes on it, then it goes to the House because it's a Senate bill, so that goes to the House next. The first reading means it's merely introduced. Then it was sent to the standing committee, and again, this was kind of a close vote.
Yeah, very close.
Yep. If one of those, so we can see how important it is to work with the committee members. What if we'd been able to change one of those votes? Then it wouldn't have
Yes, that would have been
passed.
it, right?
I'm sorry?
That would have been the end of it. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
although, is there a procedure to kick something out of committee? I suppose there is.
Early or late in the last days of the legislative session, they waived some of this procedure. But at this point, if I believe that if that vote, one of those votes had been changed, they might have sent it back to the sponsor for we could listen to the proceedings of the committee. I'm not sure what would have happened. They might have tried to get a substitute. Maybe
Yeah,
one of the House representatives might have said, well, I like it, I don't like it, but if you made this change, then, and substitute it, that kind of stuff goes on too.
so it's good to know kind of the rules of the legislature.
Yes. And I'm not exactly sure how that substitute works. I know that in last week when the commission, the statewide police commission was heard, they passed out, but a couple of the committee members are expecting a substitute to be made. And one of them said, I don't like voting yes, because I think it's the work of the committee to make those changes before it goes any further.
Right.
But he said, and the other one I think said, I trust that the substitute will be acceptable. So who knows? Anyway, so then it passed out of committee and it went to the reading calendar, and there it was, an overwhelming yes. Then it goes to the Senate president. It goes through the
I guess
final,
they needed 38 votes to pass and they got 42, so not a huge.
Right. Again, if those 4 had gone to the other side,
Yep.
so, or 5, We had
Yeah,
five.
5.
Okay, and then the rest of it is just the all the steps that it needs to go through to be finalized. So it was sent to the for signing. So there you have it. There's the status, which is very valuable to be able to access.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I guess I ran out of questions myself. I don't have anything off the top of my head. Um,
Well, here's
okay.
another thing. If you go to the bills, you want to go to the bills here, and you don't know the number of the bill, if you go click on bills again, then you can put in keywords and
Oh, yes.
kind of do a little more search on that um, to find different bills if you don't know the number.
Okay. Okay. Um, I did think of something. What would you say? So, a lot of times I run into people, they've never contacted their state legislator or any public official really before, and they're kind of nervous about it. They think, oh, what if I do something wrong? What would you tell them? Is it really that hard? Should we be really nervous or um,
Um, it's their job to listen to us. If you kind of look at it like we're the boss and they're the employee, maybe that can give you some courage. Um, it's just something that you need to work with and get to know
yeah,
them a little bit. Try to meet them, and um, probably the easiest way is to send an email or send a text. There's there's nothing scary about that as far as I can see. Uh, a phone call, you might be a little more nervous, but again, it's really their job to listen to you. Um,
is there any certain maybe things that we should not do? Start there.
well, don't be disrespectful. You might be really upset at things they've done, or we really need to respect them, um, and be polite and acknowledge that we need to understand. I feel sorry for these legislators when they get into the session. They're just hammered, you
Yeah,
know, respect their time and express appreciation. I might not be glad for everything the representative or senator has done, but I can say, thank you for the things that you've done to defend our liberty.
right,
Maybe it's just
right.
1 out of 20.
Yeah, right. Could be, I suppose.
Or thank you for the time that you put in, just,
Right, a lot of time.
yeah, yeah.
So are these state legislators in Utah, are they bringing in the big bucks and this is a big career for them or what is the situation with them?
I'm not sure what they make, but some of them have been there for many, many years. Um, and I think I suspect that some of them have passed bills that have um, been pleasing to people who have money, and they've received campaign contributions, and they work
Yeah,
deals up there on, I'll support your bill if you support mine, but
but I mean, do we have a full-time legislature in Utah or is it a part-time?
it's part-time. We have 6 weeks
Okay.
of legislative session. They're going to end in mid-March, but they do come back for interim meetings and special sessions. In fact, if you go to the bills session. So if you go here, you can kind of see the different sessions that they had last year. They had a
Oh,
general session, a special, all these.
quite a few special, they're very special.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well, if a person wants to meet with a state legislator, do they have a bunch of staff you have to go through generally, or is it just, set up a time to have?
oh, for
Um,
state legislators, they may have interns that help them during the session, but usually you can call them at their home, call their cell phone, so it's not like there's a buffer of staff between them.
Yeah.
During the session, you
Okay.
might, if you call them, you might reach an intern, but usually you can get in touch with them. And a lot of them have town halls. You can,
Mhm.
uh, they have websites, and you can, I think, sign up to receive alerts from them, or um, some of them, once you've contacted them, they might just automatically put you on their list to get weekly updates from the session.
Okay. So they're pretty approachable. Sounds like it's pretty accessible. A lot more than a
Yeah.
congressman.
Yes, yeah, much more so than our US senators and representatives.
Okay. Wow,
Okay.
that's a really neat thing. So, well, Sharon, thank you so much for taking the time to go through this for our members and activists in Utah. And it's just hopefully, I think it will clear up some things that for many people, they just find this whole process sometimes intimidating, sometimes confusing, sometimes they just don't know where to start. So
Right.
hopefully, I think this will help people out. Um, and of course, anybody that would like to know more, they can contact me, eastall@jbs.org, my email. And they can learn about that. Um, and any final thoughts, Sharon, that maybe should encourage our folks that went through this?
Well, use the bill tracking, find out what bills are going on that you're passionate about, such as national popular vote. And um, I think the SB 121 is going to be heard, maybe this Thursday. I don't know if people are going to watch this video between now and then, but um, if people are watching it before that comes to committee, take action. And I think it's so important that people will go to the jbs.org website, because we didn't take time on that. Do we have time? It's been almost an hour. But to go to the state alerts and to click, if you go to the action alerts, you can choose federal or state. And if you choose state, you click on the map for Utah or whatever your state is. And then it brings up things like the specific, sometimes the very specific bills that are being making their way through the legislative process that need attention. So that's so important. And for those that are worried about calling or contacting their representative or senator, there's that capability of using the pre-written email, which you can edit. You can put in something personal to them, and the website will send an email in your name. They don't even know it's coming from JBS. You can contact them, and on each of those issues, you've got a little kind of tutorial about what the issue is, like on the national popular vote. If people go to that issue on the website, they have a wonderful summary of what that issue is and why it's a problem.
Hmm. That sounds like there's a lot of resources there. And yeah, certainly encourage people to check it out. Go to jbs.org Act Now and click on federal or state alerts and take it from there. That's a
Exactly.
tool. You can even, I think it'll let you call, right? Let you call or even make a video from there after making your
Actually,
email.
they do.
It's kind of cool.
Yep. And you talked
Yeah.
about meeting with your legislators. If you've sent them a few videos, then hey, when you actually
Oh,
meet them, they
that's right.
say, you look familiar.
Yeah, that helps. All right. Well, thank you so much again, Sharon, for taking the time to go explain this for everybody. And uh, thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this with others, friends, family, whatever, because we all want to make sure we can make a difference. And the knowledge is power. As we learn these things, we can be more effective as activists, and we can share those with others. So thanks everyone for being on Birching the West, and look forward to next time.
Thank you so much.